Let's be real. Most of you are throwing $500 a month at a debt only in the next month to see it reduced by $5. And no, it's not just frustrating. It's designed that way. It's not a mistake. It's not a problem with the math. It's not a glitch. It's intentional. It's designed to break you, to give you payment fatigue. Oh yes, banks love payment fatigue. They want you to doom scroll, TikTok, Twitter, doesn't matter, and forget that you still owe money. Why? Because then what you owe increases and they make more profit. They want you to accept debt as a lifestyle. But no, today we're killing that cycle. We're putting the debt avalanche and the debt snowball into a cage match to see who comes out on top. And maybe there's a secret third competitor that we'll talk about later. Before we fight, we need intel. Can't fight a blind battle. You need to know the APR, or rather the interest rate, on every single credit card you have. If you don't know what you're fighting, you cannot win. And if you don't know what you're paying, you're just guessing. List them out from high to low. Anything. And here is a golden rule. You cannot miss a single minimum payment while fighting, or you've lost. You can try to be aggressive, but you cannot be reckless. Autopay is the only friend you have in this. Everyone else is trying to take your money. Everyone else is trying to take your money. Let that sink in. Now, the snowball. Method 1, the snowball. This is the Dave Ramsey special. Maybe you heard about it, probably. It's an oldie, but it works. And it's actually very simple. You start by ignoring the interest rate. I know, sounds weird, but that's how it is. You take your debts and you list them out from lowest to highest, completely disregarding the interest. The key here is to make small and fast wins, to keep you motivated. You ignore the interest rates and just start paying off the smallest one first. Why? Because in this day and age, our brains are completely fried. We need constant dopamine, and this is a way to get them. Seeing a $400 medical bill hit zero will be a lot more motivating than seeing a $30,000 car loan reduced to $29,000. It's simple. This isn't a math strategy. It's a brain hack. It gives you what you need, even if you don't know that you need it. It will keep you motivated in the middle, in that long stretch where nothing really happens. It will keep you going when it matters the most. Why? Because motivation, inspiration is easy, but that runs out. What you have left then is discipline. The discipline to keep going, and in this case, to keep paying, even when you don't want to, when it's hard. The downside? Well, you pay a math tax. Because you do ignore the interest rate on higher ones keeps stacking up the payment. Is it significant? Yes, but not in comparison to just giving up paying at all. The snowball is the most popular way to lower your bank tax, even if it's not the most efficient one. But it works, and that is why it survived. And how do you actually use the snowball? Well, it's simple. Let's say you have 1,000 a month you can use to repay debt, right? 1,000. And let's say you have 5 debts. 10,000 on a car, 5,000 for, I don't know, something. Doesn't really matter, let's call it debt B. You have 400 on one credit card, 2,000 on another, and let's say you went on a vacation and have another 2,000. You list them out. And then you sort them from lowest to highest, right? And if you have $1,000 a month to pay it off, you pay the minimum on everyone. That's important. You're screwed if you don't do that. And there will, hopefully, be money left over. What do? You pay all of it into the smallest debt, right? Because it's the smallest one, it will be gone first. After that, you have debt rate left over. But the important part is, don't go wasting it. That money you have left over now is not spending money. It's not ha 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 fun money. That's important because you still have 4 debts left. You take that rate, since you still have the same amount of money but less debt, you now have more money to pay it off. You keep paying the minimum on everyone, but you now have, since you have now more money, you keep slapping it into the now smallest one. And you crush that one down. Soon that one will be gone as well. And now you have the money from 2 debts left over. Again, it's not spending money. You slap it into the 3rd. Then the 3rd is gone. Then you slap it into the 4th. The 4th is gone. And soon you can put all your money into the final 5th debt. And then that one will be gone. The debt snowball is not the most efficient, but it will keep you going and it will reduce your debt. Now, method 2, the avalanche. This is for the more math-oriented people, right? Instead of ordering by the balance, you order it by the interest rate. Because, of course, a higher interest rate means you pay more money the longer you let it sit. 30% will grow more than 10%. So you try at all costs to get rid of the highest interest rate first. Usually those will be credit cards. And hopefully credit card debt is comparably small. I mean, 2,000 bucks on a credit card compared to what? 400,000, that's probably lowballing it extremely, on a house is a significant difference. The 28% store card, that's a parasite. It's not just sucking out your money, it's sucking out your blood, your life. With every month you don't pay it off. So you kill that one first. Now, if you consider only the math, the avalanche is the right way. Since the snowball ignores interest rate, you eventually end up paying more with that method. But it's still less than not paying at all. With the avalanche, you can save thousands and pay off your entire debt sooner, if you keep going. But again, here's the warning. If your highest interest debt is big, as in massive big, you'll be chewing on that one for a good while. You might just go an entire year without a single win. But if you have the mental discipline of a stoic, if you can ignore the feel good in your brain and just keep going, this method is likely to get you out faster. But if you need a win every 30 days, it's probably better to go with the snowball for the simple reason that you get that win. The avalanche is for the people who want to pay the least amount of money possible, the least amount of bank tax, period. Now, if you want to minimize the bank tax you're paying immediately, we have to talk about a little interest hack, debt arbitrage. Now, it's a big fancy word, but it really simply means consolidating your debt. Most people think a loan is just more debt, but that's what banks want you to think, because that way you keep paying them 24% on a credit card. But look at the math. A credit card is what? 24-25%? Compare that to a personal loan. 8%, in some places 4%, depending on you, your country. You just gave yourself, by switching, a 16% reduction. One could even call it a raise. Or if you're really good, you just took the money from the bank. These 16%, they stay in your pocket now. Instead of funding a rich CEO's third superyacht, that money now stays in your pocket instead of paying some CEO's third vacation home or fifth superyacht. Think about that. Essentially, you are buying back your own debt at a discount. If you're in the EU or Germany, for example, you can get a personal loan for about 4 to 9%. Again, depending on you. If you've got decent credit, compare that to those 20% predatory rates of credit cards. Of course, there is a catch, isn't there always? And it's a big one. Banks love it when you consolidate your debt from credit cards and the like into a personal loan, only to go and keep spending the money. Because that way, you just doubled the money you owe them. If you clear the cards via arbitrage and then max them out again, You're playing someone, real big, except that that someone is you. You didn't hack the system, you just doubled the depth of the hole you're in. If you consolidate your debt with a personal loan, you have to treat your credit cards like they are radioactive. You can't use them just because you have them. That's important. You'll screw yourself over otherwise. Freeze them, cut them, lock them up, whatever. Just don't use them. This method can work, but only if you use the savings in the tax you would pay the bank to blow away the debt you have. This method might not work for everyone. After all, you still need to be approved for a loan and you have to get a better rate than what you have already. But it is worth a thought. Now, here's the truth. The best way to get rid of debt is whichever one works for you. The name doesn't matter. If you've tried paying off before, but you failed, go with the snowball. Take the small wins, it's better than nothing. If you want to waste not a single cent, go with Team Avalanche. Cut down that high cost debt and you'll be free sooner. Or, if you're crazy, why not mix them? Pay off some small, high rate, probably credit cards, and then go to the most expensive one. That way you get a few wins early on and still reduce what you have to pay. Pick a battle plan and stop being the bank's favorite customer. Every day you don't pick a method is a day you are voluntarily paying a bank tax to a CEO who's flying halfway across the planet just to get dinner on your dime. Debt is a habit problem disguised as a math problem. 2026 is the year you finally stop being a debt slave and get it under control. You stop being a background character to the bank's profit margin. Comment Team Snowball, Team Avalanche or Team Consolidation so I know which method you're picking and which one's the most popular.